the zone. So I've got a couple more clips of this, like, Force the Vote 1 year anniversary stream with Jackson Hinkle and various weirdos. And so these two clips are really strange here. So again, these people are the one true leftists, right? If you watch my previous segment, anyone that supports ending the pandemic wants to kill small businesses, and also they support Nazi Germany and Jim Crow apartheid, right? If you support ending the pandemic, you're basically a Nazi, in the words of Fiorella Isabel. But also, one other thing about these kinds of weird, like, weirdos, they're these super leftists, right, is that they really don't like gay and trans people. They really don't like wokeism. Whatever the fuck wokeism even means. I would love to ask, if someone can ask Jackson Hinkle or any of these people what wokeism means, I would love to hear the answer. But I've got a clip here with the COVID Couch and with Socialist MMA, and they've got some really bizarre opinions on wokeism and the boutique left and culture issues.
Yeah, it's meat and potato issues is what you need, and like that's why well, yesterday I put out a message on Twitter. I said, like, wokeism is the new neoconservatism, and it really is if you think about it, because, like, let's take a look back at the past year. You guys just listed so much of what the squad is doing and terrible things that they're doing, but they're always cloaking it in this woke brand. It's the weaponization of identity politics.
What does that mean? Now, again, in the previous clip that I made another segment on, Fiorella Isabel, I'll just replay it. She says that black people are vaccine hesitant because she spoke to a couple black people about it.
These mandates are segregating a lot of people, and they happen to be poor people and people of color. Black people have been hesitant, too, in great populations, and I'm not trying to speak on the behalf. I'm after talking to many of them.
She talked to many black people and said that black people are hesitant to take the vaccine, right? That's not identity politics. I spoke to one poor person and they said one thing, so all poor people think this. That's not identity politics. Caring about gay people and trans people, caring about Islamophobia and racism, that is identity politics. Like, again, this is in the same show. This is, like, literally minutes after each other. They're making these bizarre, like, weird, like, contradictions, and they don't even notice it.
Ilhan Omar, her new countering international Islamophobia, and she has like little anti-BDS caveats in the bill, and it's going to be weaponized against socialist governments. It's going to be weaponized against China. It is going to, without a doubt, be weaponized against Myanmar as well. And then
again, this is the thing. Like, they're trying to pretend like if you're woke, you support imperialism. You're woke. You think that trans people shouldn't be, like, the victim of discrimination? You're woke. You think that Muslims shouldn't be the victim of discrimination, at least compared to Christians and Jewish people or other sorts of religions? You're woke, and therefore you support imperialism. You support sanctioning country. Like, I don't know about the bill that this person is talking about here, right? But if this bill is actually, as they claim, right, anti-BDS, I have a problem with that. But that has nothing to do with wokeism. Whatever the fuck wokeism is.
Look at the, Samira Khan tweeted about the Globe Act. Globe Act is literally placing sanctions upon countries because they have different cultural values than us, and they are...
Now, that's the other thing. They have different cultural values. You know what culture is? Right? Culture is what kind of music you listen to. Culture is like, who your favorite artist is. Culture is what kind of movies you watch. Culture is like how you dance, what kind of food you make. Culture is not, I hate gay people. Culture is not, I hate black people. Culture is not, I hate Muslims. Culture is not, I hate trans people. That's not culture. That's fucking stupid. And so the idea to cloak these things as different cultural values is ridiculous. That being said, I don't support sanctioning any specific governments over that kind of stuff. Especially from the United States. I don't support that at all. But the idea that if you support wokeism, right, then that means you're an imperialist, but also that, like, hating gay and trans people is different culture, it's fucking ridiculous.
Not as, they're not aligned with us when it comes to LGBT issues. So it's like, it is the craziest form of imperialism when you have it like.
If someone is a socialist but hates gay people, you know what? They're a fucking piece of garbage, and I don't care about them at all, and I won't support them at all. I'm just letting you know how I feel, right? If you recognize, right, that there is class warfare going on, and you are also going to spend your time engaging in that very same class warfare against people that are of a lower class than you, then you're a fucking idiot. It's the same mentality of the temporarily embarrassed millionaires and billionaires in this country that simp for Elon Musk because maybe one day they'll be rich. So they want Elon to not pay any taxes because one day they'll be a $50 billion rich person and then they don't want to pay taxes, right? If you are poor and you hate gay people that are also poor because they're gay, you're a fucking piece of garbage. You're engaging in the same thing that you're advocating against on one hand, okay? You cannot be a socialist and be disagreeing with gay and trans issues, whatever the fuck that means. It is impossible. It is incongruent with socialism. Socialism and communism are intersectional modes of production, right? Communism is where, again, it is a classless, moneyless, stateless society, right? You cannot hate gay people and advocate for a classless society. Because again, if you think that gay people are worse than straight people or trans people are worse than cis people, you are creating arbitrary hierarchies and classes based on garbage, and therefore you objectively, definitionally cannot be a communist because you support classes. You support class warfare. It's that simple.
Being all cast under like the brand of like wokeism, you know, it's insane. But
I would love to know what wokeism means. But then also we had Socialist MMA on the show as well, and they talked about very similar things in regards to the boutique left and the managerial progressive class, whatever the fuck that means. Now again, this is another thing that's bizarre. Anyone that supports wokeism, oh, you're trans? PMC, boutique leftist. Oh, you have a gay cousin and you don't think that gay people should, be discriminated against? You think that gay people should be married? Well, obviously you support AOC. You're a woke person. You're woke. You believe in wokeism. So if you believe that trans people deserve not to be basically discriminated against, or gay people don't deserve to be discriminated against, or Muslims don't deserve to be discriminated against, you support imperialism, and also you're a squad defender. The squad supports imperialism, and then also bread tubers. Let's keep going.
It's a conversation because a year after Force to Vote, there's a lot to talk about, like the state of the United States left, the United States progressive movement, and at Revolutionary Blackout Network. My main goal is to point out intellectual inconsistencies, right?
So, intellectual inconsistency. Now again, Jackson Hinkle has said that you can hate gay people and trans people, but as long as you're a socialist and care about the class issues. Again, communism is a state of society where there is no class, no money, and no state. That is communism, right? If you are discriminatory against people based on religion or based on sex or gender or anything else or race, you are creating classes, and therefore you cannot have a communist society where trans people are discriminated against. You cannot have a communist society where there's racism. It's impossible. It is intellectually dishonest to advocate for a classless society where you have classes. That you cannot do that.
Right, with people. I do it with the liberal class, Joe Biden. That's my favorite target. Mm-hmm. I call out Republicans for their intellectual inconsistencies, but the people who probably been the most intellectually inconsistent and dishonest this year, and it doesn't give me any joy to say it, has been the boutique left, managerial progressive class, right? But we get
so what is the boutique left? Now, is Jackson Hinkle a member of the boutique left? Lives off of his parents, right? Is like a professional, like he does his hair all the time, right? Like he gets a bunch of money from a bunch of bizarre organizations, right? And he broadcasts from his liberal enclave in his super commie California. Is he a boutique leftist? What about Jimmy Dore, the guy who just bought a multi-million-dollar mansion, right, unnecessarily, right, in one of the most expensive areas to live in? Is he a boutique leftist? Well, no, because they agree with me. The real boutique leftists are people that bread tubers are whatever the fuck what is a bread tuber? I don't even
that later, but
Yeah.
I'm super happy to be here though.
No, I fully agree. And that's what I mean. Like, people like the bread tubers I just mentioned. Like, you're a Vosh Slayer. We're of the same cloth.
I don't know what that means, a Vosh Slayer. I assume that means that Jackson is claiming that he beat Vaush in a debate or something. I don't know what a bread tuber is. People call me a bread tuber. I mean, I'll take it, right? People can call me whatever they want, right? But the idea, so you're advocating for communism. You're advocating for a classless society where you have classes based on gender and race. But it's also a classless society. But also, you don't like bread tubers because what? Like, it's just what?
There, but all these people that freak out and they're like, why are you going after the squad? Why? First of all, I mean, they're politicians, they're elected officials.
You can criticize the squad. That's fine. I criticize the squad sometimes, right? I don't have a problem with that. But it's the absolute and singular focus on the squad as opposed to anyone else that I find problematic.
But second of all, it's like they're the most intellectually dishonest people within the left today, the progressive movement today. I mean, like, everything they said they were going to do, they haven't done. And the things that they have done, they're towing establishment lines. So,
what does that mean? Okay. So again, remember when the squad voted against the bipartisan infrastructure bullshit, right? Because they said they wanted it as a 2-track with the Build Back Better, right? And then Joe Manchin said, fuck that, I don't care. And then they voted against it. Isn't that exactly what they should be doing? Voting as a block? Well, that's bad because they're towing the establishment line. So anytime that they do something good, it's bad because they're establishment. But also, the idea that the squad is the enemy and not corporate Democrats, not fucking Joe Manchin, not Kyrsten Sinema, not Chuck Schumer, not Nancy Pelosi, not Joe Biden. It's actually the squad that are the enemies. It doesn't make any sense. Now, again, you can think that the government won't save us. That's what I think. I think the government has left us on our own. I think that there are a couple possible human beings in Congress, like the squad, right? I believe that there are human beings that have infiltrated a den of machines and demons, right? But they don't have the power. 6 out of 535 is not a winning ratio. I'm sorry, it's not. It's a losing one, right? And so it's the idea that they're going to go in there and they're going to put in the cheat code IDDQD and then we're all going to live forever. That's fantasy, right? And so when they don't put in the cheat code, and that's what forced the vote, the whole thing was about putting in the cheat code. They're going to force the vote, and then they're going to turn the key, and then they're going to pull the book out at a 38-degree angle, and then they're going to sing a prayer. They're going to do the thing from Naruto where they summon someone, except they're going to summon an ancient spirit who's then going to go back into another dimension and bring back another creature from another out of space who's going to wave a magic wand and cure all disease. The idea that that's going to, and they didn't do that, so therefore they're fake, they're intellectually dishonest. We're going to ignore everyone else that's a problem and just focus on them. That's the issue here. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. It's ludicrous. Now, again, like Socialist MMA here says that he prefers to go after Joe Biden. That's good. Go after Joe Biden. He's the enemy right now. He's the one in charge. Fuck Joe Biden. But the idea that they're always trying to bring it back to the squad and wokeism and they're towing the establishment line and bread tubers, whatever the fuck that means, right? Like, this is all nonsense. This is nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. It's stupid nonsense garbage. And they're doing it for money. Because they know, right, people that are in the so-called left online, they know who AOC is. AOC is a money name. It's to make money. They do all this. They grift to the right to make money. They use terms like wokeism because they want money. That's what the right does. The right injects money into these fucking culture war issues, right? And then they want to profit off of that. They want a little bit of the bag. So they claim to be pro-communism. Again, what is communism? A classless, stateless, moneyless society. But they do love to uphold their own personal hierarchies, right? They don't care about gay or trans people. They don't care about race issues. They don't care about religious discrimination, right? Because That doesn't matter to them. It doesn't personally matter to them at that moment, so therefore they don't care. They love creating arbitrary hierarchies. Right now, again, my opinion is the government's not going to help us, right? So I'll talk about the government because I do a news show online, but I'm not going to tell, like, the idea that anyone thinks that the squad is going to save us right now, no one thinks that. No one thinks that. And that's the whole problem with this, right? Is they think that anyone that disagrees with them thinks AOC is a superhero. She's not a superhero. She is one out of 535 members of Congress. She does not have power to do anything at all. Like get it to overthrow the health insurance industry in this country. You think one member of Congress could overthrow the health insurance industry? If any member of Congress had that much power, the country wouldn't look like this. The country would have turned into a fucking monarchy probably, I don't know, 300 fucking years ago, right? 200 years ago, whatever. So the idea that they think that one member of Congress or 6 members of Congress have infinite power in 1 minute, but then also they're powerless in the next minute. But it's nonsense. It makes no sense. It boggles the fucking mind. These people are losers. They're morons. And all they do is they whine and fucking cry online for money, and they pander to the right for money. That's all what they do. That's the only thing that they do. That's the only thing they will do. That's all Force the Vote was. Notice how all the Force the Vote dumb fuck motherfuckers that I was talking about last year as the dumbest motherfuckers alive, they all turned into anti-vaxxers, right? I, again, played you these clips. These people are against vaccines. They're against health. We have a free vaccine. These people wanted to force the vote to give free healthcare to everyone a year ago. Now they're against free healthcare. Free healthcare is the goal a year ago. Now we have free vaccines to end the pandemic. Nope, can't do it. But I thought you wanted free healthcare. Wouldn't this be a giant success story if the government rolled out a free vaccine and everyone took the vaccine and then we ended the pandemic and everyone was like, oh shit, the government gave us a free vaccine. This is what free healthcare can do. Wouldn't that be a huge boon to the Medicare for All movement? They don't care. They're anti-free healthcare when it's convenient to them, when they can make some money off of the right wing. It's fucking dumb, it's ludicrous, and it's stupid. And I don't like it. So anyway, that's the show, folks.